What's up everybody, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at the 2023 Ford F-250 Super Duty. Big shout out and thank you to Mooresville Ford for providing this brand new pickup truck for today's video. Take a look at their website, links down below. Now this one is an XL with the STX package. MSRP is around $75,000 and this one's finished off in Oxford white. So let's take a look at this very nice work truck. Underneath the hood of the 2023 Ford Super Duty, you're going to find the 6.7 liter turbo diesel V8 engine. This 8-cylinder diesel is pumping out 475 horsepower with 1,050 pound-feet of torque. It's paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission, sends the power to the rear wheels through a 3.31 locking rear axle. Of course, we do also have a 4-wheel drive transfer case. Curb weight is around 7,300 pounds and it runs on a 34-gallon fuel tank. You can also tow around 22,000 pounds with gooseneck or fifth wheel, and max payload capacity is also around 3,700 pounds. Overall length is 250 inches with a wheelbase at 159.7. Width is 80 inches and height is 81.6. And then for some off-road capabilities, approach angle is 26.7 degrees with ground clearance around 9.2 inches. Breakover angle is 21.9 degrees and departure angle is 21.1 degrees. And then now moving on to the exterior styling. For 2023, you get these really nice, massive LED headlights. Have a very cool daytime running light wrapping around the entire grille. You can see the actual headlights in the center with grille trim going all around it in a pretty cool kind of a zigzag pattern. Of course, we have that turn signal as well. We get a massive gunmetal gray grille with huge openings in all this mesh to provide maximum cooling to that engine. You get a huge Ford logo in the center with a forward-facing camera. Just a really cool grille and headlight combination all up in front. Down below, we get a body-colored metal front bumper with an LED fog light. You can also see some black trim. There's also metal tow hooks, a nice air inlet right in the center for the intercooler, and then a huge air dam down below just to improve efficiency, especially when you're towing on the highway. On the front of the hood, you can see Super Duty stamped into it. Has a really neat design, and then there's really sharp body lines all throughout the hood to give this a very squared off front end and a pretty nice overall appearance. Moving to the side, we get these really cool gray wheels finished in a multi-spoke design with some gloss black for the center hubcap. These are 20-inch wheels wrapped in a pretty nice all-terrain tire, and then you can get one sharp body line wrapping around this front fender. We get the STX badge along with F-250 and then a very nice black trim piece in that front fender. Taking a look at the overall side profile, this has a really nice crew cab design with the shorter bed. However, it still is a pretty large truck overall. And then taking a look at the center, you can see Ford stamped into these side steps, all finished off in black. We get that 6.7 Power Stroke logo on the door panel and then some sharp body lines throughout the door itself. We get a set of tow mirrors finished in black with your LED turn signal on the side, and you can see the two different mirrors on the back side. There's all black trim surrounding the windows along with your black for the door handles. And then moving to the bedside, we get a nice side step just to make it a little bit more convenient. Dual exhaust out the side. Of course, your FX4 off-road badge as well. And then moving to the rear, you get a nice set of LED taillights. Super Duty is stamped into the tailgate with another Ford logo. There's an LED light along with your rear view backup camera and the release handle. And then a body colored rear bumper with all of your parking sensors. Trailer hitch connections are in the center with the hitch itself. And overall, the Super Duty comes together, has a pretty nice square design, and it's a pretty good looking full-size truck. And then moving on to the interior, we have your basic key fob, lock, unlock, and remote start. We even get a flip out key, going ahead and keeping the truck unlocked. And just grab the door handle and take a look at this interior. You're gonna see a gray fabric design all throughout with that bench seat up front. And then moving to the door panel, finished off mostly in black and gray. We get a little bit of padding on the vinyl armrest. Your release handle is right here with a grab handle. Then all of your window and mirror controls along with lock and unlock. There's quite a lot of storage space all inside the door panel. And then you can see the black on the dorsal and a pretty good sized side step. There are manual controls for this truck. You can see the two different controls on the side. Then we have the forwards and back on the front. We get a two-tone material with some striping design in the center fabric and then just more of a basic fabric on the sides. Overall, not too bad for a basic truck. And then we get a vinyl steering wheel with some black trim. And then now inside the Super Duty, going ahead and inserting the key into the ignition. I can just turn the ignition on real quick. And then let's go ahead, fire up that 6.7 diesel. Got a few screens that are gonna turn on. And if we take a look in the center, you can see the analog tach on the left side with your speedometer on the right. Get some basic information up on top, like your turbo, along with the fuel and temperatures. The screen in the center, you can configure that using the dials on the right side of the steering wheel. So if we go ahead and take a look, by hitting menu, it gets you to this main screen. Then I can scroll up and down. You can see a comm screen with nothing on it, of course, that speedometer. We also have some trip information, fuel information as well. You can judge your average fuel economy, of course, for long distance towing, things like that. A few different measurements for temperatures, and then back to that comm screen. And then just hitting that menu button again, it comes up with more information. You can see truck info right now. You can view a few different things, engine hours, off-road status, and then you have a few things for towing, vehicle maintenance, and some settings. If we take a look at the steering wheel now, we get the Ford badge right in the center. Some controls on the left side for cruise control, Bluetooth and audio. Then you also get your track and some more Bluetooth controls on the right. We've got our gear selector over on the right side with a plus and minus. That way you can help monitor the gear you're in. And then your turn signal stock on the left side, along with your windshield wiper controls. Headlight controls are down below. We even get the interior dimming. There's a dome light for the bed. Then you're gonna see some silver trim and just some black plastic accents throughout the dash. There's a little bit of storage up in front and a nice cubby over here, and you can even see Ford and SuperDuty stamped into it. There is actually a pretty good amount of space in here, and then we get a pretty good sized glove box. You can deactivate the passenger airbag as well, which is a cool touch to see. And then up on top of the screen, we have the exhaust brake along with a shortcut button to get into that camera where you can see the rear view, front view, along with your top down. You can control a few different things, get a full size for that front view, get a 3-section view. You can also take a look at what's in the bed, which is a really cool touch. Of course, your rear view, your trailer hitch, and then viewing your wheels. So really nice to see all these sort of cameras on a base model truck. Of course, we have traction control, downhill assist, and then the screen itself. This is the sync system. We have audio controls that are gonna come up, all your different information, phone integration, of course, and then different apps with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Under settings, there's a few things you're able to adjust, and then different features will pop up as well, like driver's assistance and lighting. We got a little bit of storage down below that, just your 2 air vents. And then down below, we have a ton of physical controls. We have your volume, a few different screen icons, changing your track and tuning. Physical climate controls are down below with your fan speed on this far left, all your zones, as well as your temperature. Then we have that trailer brake control, 4-wheel drive control as well, and there are drive modes. So we have our normal mode. You can also go into the slippery, we have off-road, and those are it. So really nice to see. Of course, we have a tow and haul mode as well, and actually an eco mode. So really cool to see all that. We have 4 low, a locking differential, and then down below there's some plugs as well as a 12-volt and even more storage. Now, being the jump seat, you can see all this legroom down below. There is going to be 2 cup holders. You can also open this up for quite a lot of storage space. And then if we just go ahead and lift this up, you can see the 3rd seat up in the center. So pretty cool design the way it's all laid out. And then one last look at the interior. Not too bad for being a base model truck. And then up on top, we just get a light gray headliner, auxiliaries up here if you want to add any extra lighting or winches. And then we have a sunglass holder, all of your dome lights, and then your mirror. And then underneath the center seat, you can actually even grab this. There's a little lever, and we have even more hidden storage space underneath that center seat for an additional area of a center console. And now moving on to the rear seat space, just grab the door handle and open it up. You're gonna see the same interior here with all the 2-tone colors. And then there is an addition of a nice cup holder back here. And once again, 3 seats for the 2nd row. Now you can grab the fronts and lift them up. And there's a ton of storage space all underneath the seats to really make this a super practical truck. We do have 2 plugs down below along with a 12-volt, and then no storage or anything on the backs. And then just pulling these seats down. Don't get an armrest or anything in the back, so pretty basic back here. But overall, you do have some room. So then now sitting in the back seat of the SuperDuty, this is a big truck as you'd expect. I'm 5'11", and I have plenty of headroom, plenty of legroom and knee room with the driver's seat at my height. So honestly, obviously this is a very practical truck. If you got all your employees maybe with you going on a work adventure, you know, hauling something or doing something, obviously this is a super capable truck. But really nice back here. No real amenities, obviously being a base model. However, the seats are decently comfortable. And honestly, I think 3 people could sit here pretty fine. Same with that front seat. I think 3 people will be fine up there. So definitely a pretty useful work truck for your business. And then now moving on to the bed space, I can just grab the handle, open it up. Does not have a soft open, so you do have to hold it the whole time. And then there is going to be a small tape measure on this entire tailgate, which is really nice to see. We have a painted bed in here. There are some tie-down areas along with some LED lights all throughout it, and then a few more hooks on the backside. And then the actual tailgate itself doesn't really weigh too much. You can easily close it with one hand. All right, guys, so we are setting off in the SuperDuty. So like I said, obviously in this video, this is more of a base model one, probably something you're gonna buy to genuinely use as a work truck, maybe a little bit of daily driving and some family stuff with it. So as far as some normal driving, it honestly is still a pretty comfortable truck. While it has the basic suspension, I mean, it's a little bouncy, it's a little stiff, but you know, being what it is, this is designed to be able to tow a lot of weight, and it feels like it's pretty confident. When you do get up to speed with the power, I mean, you can break loose those tires so quick, just quarter throttling it. I mean, it just packs a punch. So I do like how with this type of torque in the SuperDuties, these are quick trucks. You can really get up to speed, and you know when you're towing, it won't even be an issue. But you have a really good view out. Visibility's pretty good. All the mirrors do a great job letting you know what's going on. And as expected, visibility is pretty much perfect. You really don't get blind spots in a pickup truck. It's really easy to see around. It is a huge vehicle. You definitely know that you are in something massive. Turning circles pretty large. Obviously, parking is a little bit tight as well. So of course, if you're not used to a really, really big truck, you know, it might take you just a little bit. But normal driving, it's not bad. It's not bad to rack up miles and just chill in here. The seats have some good padding to them. Ergonomics are pretty easy. And at least you do have pretty good technology. I wasn't expecting the Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So I like that. Hitting those bumps, you can definitely tell it's a pretty stiff suspension setup. So this one's not really geared towards any extra refinements aside from just being a pretty normal truck. It seems like just a kind of a comfortable truck to be in. You know, the armrests are in a good place for it. So at least you can easily sit here and be comfortable. And now with this huge, you have to turn the steering wheel so many times. Yeah, turning radius, we used almost this whole cul-de-sac. So it's definitely got some size to it, but kind of what you would expect on a truck like this. The drive modes don't really do too much when you're just kind of driving around town. We're in normal mode right now, getting up to some speed. I think the tire spun a little bit or something. This thing's got so much torque. But I like how you can at least tone it down into that eco mode to at least save a little bit of fuel, you know, if you're doing long haul trips or something like this. So I feel like they give you the basics. They give you kind of what you need. Nothing overboard in this one particularly, but it seems to have at least enough drive modes to use this as your work truck, but then a few modes to just kind of tone the truck down and use it like normal. All right, so turning around, my honest thoughts perspective of what it's like driving in this and my overall thoughts on this truck in general. So like I said, driving in the SuperDuty, it's a truck. It's exactly what you'd expect. Plenty of power from the Power Stroke motor. I really like Ford's diesel. I think they do a good job. You've got so much torque to it. Really good solid power plant. The transmission also shifts really nicely. You don't really feel all the gears, and the fact that it does have 10 speeds just makes it pretty effortless when getting up to some speed. Not even hitting 2,500 RPM. I mean, you just don't feel the shift. So really good overall package with how it drives. As far as creature comforts, you know, this one still an expensive truck, and you get all the basics. So I feel like for, you know, over $70,000, you would think there would be some basic luxuries in it, like power seating and maybe some extra touches. So, you know, these trucks are getting extremely expensive. If you want a loaded one, you're talking pretty much a six-figure truck to get into a very nicely equipped one. So it's a lot of money for literally basic bare bones stuff that you've seen for 30 years in trucks. However, what you're paying for is really the drivetrain. You're paying for something that can absolutely do everything. It can haul a lot of weight and really be used as a work truck for a couple 100,000 miles. But at least with the Ford, it gives you a good blend of just power and plenty of comfort. Gosh, you can just see that speedometer just go right up to speed. That's pretty impressive. Other things like that, the steering is pretty heavy in it. I would say you definitely have to drive the truck. There's nothing, like I said, just creature comfort luxurious about it. So it really feels like a work truck, something you're just gonna be beaten up on, quite honestly. I don't think anybody would really buy the XL model for an actual daily. It seems hard to imagine dropping this much money on a basic truck, especially if you're not truly using the capabilities. So this one is definitely more of a fleet vehicle type of truck, I would say. However, if you do just need the capabilities, you could probably save a lot of money and get the 7.3 gas engine, and you're probably going to do about everything you're going to do in the diesel one. So there's a lot of options, and I think that's a really good thing with Ford. They really have so many options. Not only the SuperDuty, of course, you can go super bare bones basic, you know, 2-seater basically or 3-seater, and spec it all up to a $100,000 truck. So you really can get the truck you want. And you can also, of course, the F-150, there's so many trucks, different trim levels in that one. Same with the Ranger and even in the Maverick. So Ford really does have a pickup truck, honestly ranging from 25 grand or 22 grand maybe from a basic Maverick all the way up to well over a $100,000 truck. So I think you can't go wrong. If you are in the market for any sort of pickup truck, definitely look at Ford because they have pretty much everything. And I think you get a good overall truck. They're nice to drive, they got the power, they got enough technology. It is nice to see this one having the Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. I like their diesel a lot. I will say I like their diesel better than Ram's diesel. This has a lot more torque, just feels a little bit more peppy. Chevy, I'd say, is pretty similar to this with their Duramax. But I think that is about it. Not really all too much to go over in a basic truck like this. If you're looking for a basic full-size truck with that SuperDuty, you know, that diesel, you know, definitely take a look at an F-250. That is it then for today's video. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for plenty more content to come. And then a big shout out once again to Mooresville Ford for providing this giant truck for today's video. Take a look at their website, link down below. And as I navigate a parking lot with it, I guess one last thing we'll do, not that we even need any drive modes to do this, we'll go into one of the off-road mode settings and at least drive up the curb, parking this back to where it goes. But with the power, wheels and everything, yeah, not bad at all. So anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video.